You're a service-based business and you know the importance of needing to stay active online, but you've just struggled to post consistently, or maybe you don't know what to post. This video is for you. In this video, we're going to break down the exact framework and strategy that we've developed and that we've used in our own business to not just post to social media, but really to turn our posts into profit, to actually get results. And I'm going to show you examples of how we've done this for other businesses. And this is a strategy that we designed specifically for service-based businesses. But if you own restaurant, retail, e-commerce, there's still marketing principles in this that we're going to cover that you can still pick out and apply to your business. So we have a lot to cover. This is probably going to be somewhere along a half an hour video. So definitely strap in, get your notebook, because there are going to be some times that you're going to want to take some notes. And of course, if you're watching this, you're probably in the boat of, you know that you should be posting more, and maybe you actually are, but you're not seeing the results. That would kind of put us in the first bucket here, where you're posting consistently, but again, you're just not seeing the results you want. Or maybe you're in the second bucket, where you're able to get results when you do post, but you're just not posting consistently enough. And so you have these big gaps in your posting to where maybe even you'll be active for a couple days, and then 2 weeks will go by, a month will go by, and your social media really looks pretty dead. And so when people land on your social media, sometimes they might even question whether or not you're still in business. The most likely case, and what we've found with most businesses that we work with, is they fall in the third bucket. So they're not posting consistently and they are not seeing results when they do post. What you're probably feeling when you experience things like this is, and I've experienced this too, where you'll try and create posts last minute, and so you're rushed into creating it, and whatever you end up posting is probably going to actually hurt your brand, because it's not going to be as, the quality that it should be to represent your brand well. Maybe you always feel like you're falling behind, or you feel discouraged, or you feel like you always hear your competitors post and then you feel anxious to, make a post real quick, and that leads into the rush, and then it's just this kind of endless cycle. Or maybe you actually justify, which we've all done, where you're just like, I don't really need to post today, so I'm just not going to. But then internally you feel guilty because you know that you do need to post and you didn't. And so in the next 30 minutes, I really want to show you how we can go from not posting consistently, not getting any results, to posting consistently and actually getting results from it. So whether you're going for engagement, whether you're going for leads, whether you're going for follows, that's really what we're going to cover. We want to cover that transformation. So this is a 3-step framework that you can use to easily start posting consistently. You can even use it this week to create content that's actually going to help generate leads and is going to turn your posts into profit. And no, you do not need to spend money on ads or boosting posts. So to be clear, this is not going to be another Canva tutorial. This is going to teach you action steps that you're going to be able to use today that's actually going to help bring your social media back to life. And that's because this is a strategy. This isn't just posting. And I want to explain the difference real quick, in probably a way that you're going to be able to understand it a little bit more. But if we were to take somebody who goes to the gym, and you have person A over here and they're hitting the gym, maybe they're even hitting the gym every day, but they don't have a plan or they don't have a strategy. And maybe you're somebody who goes to the gym and maybe that's how you started, but eventually you realized, hey, I need a clear plan and I need a clear strategy. So as you're looking at this, who do you think is actually going to go to the gym and accomplish their goals, whether it's to bulk or lose weight or just get more in shape? Do you think it's going to be person A, or do you think it's going to be person B? Obviously, we know it's going to be person B, because person B has a clear plan and a clear strategy. Sports example, a team goes and they play and they're told, hey, do a good job, have fun, play the game, right? Yeah, it's not that it's guaranteed that they'll lose or necessarily win, but Team B has the clear plan and strategy. And so if you know anything about sports, you know that the team that has a clear plan and strategy, again, they're going to be the ones to succeed in most cases, or at least it's going to help quite a bit. The last example, of course, is you have a business. So business A, they don't have a marketing strategy. Business B, they have a clear marketing strategy. And if patterns can tell us anything with the gym and with the sports, we know that business B is going to be the business that actually starts to get clients, where business A is essentially flushing money, time, and energy down the toilet because they're just posting. They don't actually have a strategy behind their post or how their posts are designed. And that's really what we want to fix. And that's why business B is the one that will succeed. Now, these are some results that we've actually seen with the clients that we've used this strategy with. So this is Tara's Essential Cleaning. When we made her social media post that she posted on Facebook, she got bookings within hours. When we work with Ashton in Olson's Detailing and Window Tint, he actually posted the content that we made him, ended up getting a lead, I think within a couple hours, and then he took that post after knowing it would perform and decided to run it as an ad. And then he ended up getting 5 more leads in 48 hours, which is awesome. And then we also helped Austin from Nelson's Heating and Cooling land a new furnace install in just 3 weeks after he started posting consistently. So I'm not promising any specific results, but like we saw with the gym and with the sports, if you have a strategy and if you have a plan, you're more likely to actually get the results you want than if you don't have one. And so these are the results that we've been able to see from our clients, and of course, how it's benefited ourselves. And so, of course, if you don't know me, I'm Marcus. I'm actually the founder of Spotlight Media. We're a marketing agency where we create strategies like this to help service businesses generate leads and scale. We created the Post to Profit framework to help grow our business, but now I'm excited to share it with you, and hopefully you can see the same results that we've seen with it as well. So in this video, we're going to cover a couple marketing principles. We're going to start with 2 main marketing principles that you need to understand. We're going to understand how to apply these principles in 3 simple steps, and then I want to show you exactly how you can start using it today. So who is this for? This is designed for service businesses. If you're a roofer, HVAC, plumber, cleaning business, pest control, whether you're home service business, service-based business like detail shops, title companies, or maybe you're an owner operator, this is specifically designed for you. So grab your notebook, get ready to take some notes, get ready to take maybe some screenshots, and let's dive in. Part 1, this is going to be the 2 powerful marketing principles that is the foundation to this entire strategy. And the principle number 1 is that people typically choose who they see the most. Okay? People typically choose who they see the most. That means that the business who stays top of mind is the business that's going to win. And why is this true? We need to talk a little bit about Google's 7-11-4 rule. Google's 7-11-4 rule states that for someone to be ready to buy from you, for them to actually be ready to say, hey, I want to spend my money with this business, they need 7 hours of engagement with a brand at 11 different touch points. So that could be social media posts, videos that they see online, emails, website visits, in 4 different locations or 4 different platforms. So LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, your website, email again, maybe you're running TV commercials, something like that. So according to this principle, they need 7 hours of engagement with your brand. That's quite a bit of time when social media is designed to be short, quick little snippets, right? We want reels that are less than a minute. So in other words, they need to build enough trust with you, and trust is spent through time and more frequent interactions before they're actually ready to reach out and work with you. And so that's why consistency, or staying top of mind, is so important, because ultimately what we're trying to do is we're trying to go from being consistent to building that trust. And when you have that trust, that's naturally going to lead to lead generation and more sales. But we are still missing the second principle, which is the key to actually building that trust. And so what is this? So seeing your business frequently isn't going to be enough. It also depends on what they actually see. So what is the impression that they're getting from the content that you're putting out that's actually helping them decide to choose you over the competition. And this is where the second principle comes in for our marketing principles. And this is make your customers the hero and you the guide. And I don't think I can stress this enough. In other words, you don't want to create posts where you're only focused on yourself. You want to lift up the customer, make them the hero, and you want to be the guide. In other words, you want to make them Luke Skywalker and you Yoda. That's what you want to do in your language, in your wording, in your copy, in your graphics, in your images. You want to make it about them. You don't want to make it about you. Now, the reason for this is because prospects really want to know three things when it comes down to it. They want to know, what do you do? They want to know, who do you do it for? In other words, is it relevant to me? And how can it benefit me? How can it benefit your customer? That's what they want to understand. And so I know that a lot of companies like to say, been in the business for 20 years, or we're the best in the area. When you say things like that, the focus continues to be about the company, when in reality, if you can just show the customer, hey, look, we have a service that we do for you, it's relevant to you, and it can benefit you in these ways, X, Y, Z, that sort of approach is going to have a much better response from them than only talking about yourself. And so that's why where businesses go wrong is they stay stuck in this promo mode. They always are promoting their business. They're always asking for the sale. They're essentially just wanting people to give them their money in all their posts, and people don't like that, which is also why they don't have many followers, because you're not giving them a reason to follow you. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a couple of slides, but that's essentially what we're talking about here. You only ever talk about yourself, and you're not posting anything of value. You're just trying to sell, and that's what people don't like. There's no reason to follow you if you're only trying to sell. So what we want to do is move from that model where you're just sell, and actually move to an educate and then sell framework. And this is where you're actually going to be able to provide value first about your service. You're going to educate people on your service. You're going to tell them how it benefits them. And that's naturally going to lead to the sale. So instead of asking for something in your content, you actually want to make the viewer or the person consuming the content feel like you're giving something to them that actually helps them, that actually gives them value. You can almost think of it like if you were to charge for it, but you're giving it away for free. Like, you know this is valuable, but I'm still going to give it away for free. That's what you want to do for them. Now, examples of really what doesn't count, and these aren't bad posts, but this isn't necessarily what would be giving your customer a post that's really valuable to them. So holiday posts, those are great, but I can't really, if I'm a customer, I can't really solve a problem with a holiday post, right? That's kind of how we want to line things up. Like, if you're making a post to provide value, you almost want them to be able to solve their own problem almost. But birthday post, again, great, get lots of engagement, but that's not what we're talking about here. New staff post, again, super good. That's not what we're talking about. And achievement post. Hey, we hit 10,000, right? Again, you're talking about yourself with these kind of posts. Is it awesome to make those kind of posts? Yes. But these are examples where I know a lot of businesses only post these type of things, and they're not going to see many results from it because, again, it's not actually relevant to the customer and their problems. So nothing wrong with it, but you definitely don't want to have these the only kind of posts that you're making. So again, to see if your content idea is actually what we're going for, you really just want to ask yourself, does this help my ideal customer actually solve a problem or teach them something new, especially if it's something new about your business? And if that's yes, then you are successfully making them the hero and you the guide, which is what we want. So now we have both of our two components that we need. We have consistency, and now we have providing value and educating. Both of those things are going to lead to trust, which is what we want. People will spend money with you if they trust that you can deliver what you say you can deliver. And then that trust is naturally going to lead to sales and lead generation. And so if you're making content that's designed for your customer, that's designed to educate them on your service, then you're actually going to give people a reason to follow you. And that's how you become the expert. You can say you're the expert, but until you start to show and they start to receive that information and realize, okay, this person really knows what they're talking about, or this business really knows how to do what they say they can do, that's when you really start to position yourself as the expert. And of course, we're going to go more into this later, but I do want to show you how to create the other kinds of posts to eventually promote your business. So moving into part 2, now that we understand the 2 marketing principles that are the foundation of this strategy, I really want to show you the 3 easy steps of how to actually apply these principles. And 3 easy steps are: we need clarity. Okay, we have to get clarity. Then we're going to learn how to build connection. And then we're going to actually learn how to properly post consistently. Okay, and if we can combine the 3 C's, then we will be much more better off than when we started, because we'll actually be able to make content that people like and be consistent. So step 1 is you have to get clarity. And there's 2 questions that you need to ask for this. You want clarity on who is this post for? This is your audience. This is who you're actually designing the post for. And I think so many businesses, they go out and they just kind of throw a post together and they kind of vaguely know who it's for. But if you can hone in and say that this post is for this client avatar or our ideal client or this specific audience, and you design it in that way, it'll go much farther than just throwing a post together or getting a template in Canva and hoping it does well. And the second question that we need to ask is, what is the goal of this post? So am I trying to generate leads, or am I just trying to build awareness? Am I trying to nurture some of my followers? Am I actually going for sales? Am I trying to drive traffic? Am I trying to go for engagement? And I think that not identifying what the goal of the post actually is usually what makes you feel like the post isn't performing when you don't even know what metric to look for. And this is something that we call KPI, which is key performance indicator. You have to know what metric to look for, because how will you know? You're not going to know if the content performed well if you don't know what to look for. So you have to get clarity on your audience, and you have to get clarity on the goal of the post. You have 3 different audiences, just to simplify things, okay? You have people who are a cold audience. They have no idea you exist. It doesn't matter if you've been in the area for 20 years. They don't know you exist. And so I think you should always prioritize having some kind of content out there that's just letting people know that you exist. Then you have your warm audience. These are the people who they've heard about you. Maybe they've seen a billboard sign. Maybe they've seen your yard sign, something like that. But they're just not ready to buy. These are the audiences that need nurturing. They still need those touch points every couple weeks or every couple of days or whatever it might be, whatever your sales cycle is. They need those touch points. You have to be consistent. And the content that you make for your cold audience versus your warm audience is going to look very different. We're going to talk about that later. And then, of course, you have your hot audience or ready to buy audience. Now, if you noticed while I was going through this presentation, you're like, okay, we definitely post a lot of promos. You know, we talk a lot about, hey, if you need XYZ service, contact us now. If that's kind of all what your posts are, those posts aren't bad, but they're only targeting people who are ready to buy. And it's a very small percentage of people who actually interact with your business online, or at least have the potential to interact with your business. The only thing you have to do for a cold audience is get them to follow and engage. You're not trying to make a sale. You just want them to follow. If you can get a follow, that means that they're going to see other content that you post and you don't have to chase them anymore. So anything that you make for a cold audience, you just want to get them to follow. That's the goal, right? We have our audience, we have our goal. We have the 2 things that we need. Now for your warm audience, invite them to learn more, nurture them, show them proof, show testimonials to them, maybe show different reviews. That kind of content is really for warming them up. They already know you exist. Now we're trying to actually get them to convert. Once we turn our warm audience into our hot audience, that's where we can actually say, hey, now that you know about us, now that you know how we can benefit you, we're having a sale, or we're having a special, or we're only accepting X amount of people in this month, or whatever it might be. Now you're actually promoting your business, but you've done so in a way to where you've warmed up your audience. So now when you actually promote and you sell your service, you are more likely to get sales because you've taken the necessary steps throughout each and every week and each and every month to warm them up and actually make them ready to buy. And so when we have our audience, when we have our goal, that's when we actually get the clarity we need, because we know the answer to those two things. That's when we get the clarity we need to know what to post, to know what to create to post. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, whether it's a video, whether it's a, something that you throw in Canva, we'll go over that a little bit more later in the course, but it really just gives you clarity on, okay, I know who I'm targeting and I know what the goal should be. Step number 2, we want to build connections. Now, this is all about building relationships with prospects, and how exactly are we going to do that? So this is actually our 5-5-5 method. And again, I would screenshot this for later, but this is so you know exactly what to post throughout the week for building that awareness, nurturing those warm leads, and selling to those ready to buy. So pretty simple. You create 5 educational posts every single week for cold audiences. You're looking for them to give you a follow. You create 5 posts for nurturing, for building trust for your warm audiences. You want them to learn more, visit your website, maybe even book a call with you, depending on what the post is, to chat with your team and chat with your sales team or get a quote, something like that. And then, of course, sell and promote. This is where you're actually selling and promoting your services for your now hot audience, because you've warmed them up. So, of course, your CTA is buy now, act now, get a quote, visit our website, whatever it might be, however your sales flow is. But that is the 5-5-5 method. Now, these are just a couple examples of posts that we created for different companies of different industries. But on the left here, we have Easy Air. So they're an HVAC company. You can see that we did a myth versus fact. So myth, if your HVAC system still runs, it doesn't need attention. Fact, many systems lose efficiency before they actually stop working. So check your filter monthly. A dirty filter can reduce efficiency and strain your system, and then follow for more. So notice how we're actually helping debunk a myth, and then we're giving them the tools that they can use themselves to solve their problem, sort of like a soft way to be able to do that. And then we're not asking for the sale, we're only asking for follow for more. And you can see that we do the same thing pretty much with the rest of the examples here. Now, this is something that would be really good for warm audiences, like to trust and nurture. So you have a this or that, which is basically very similar to the myth versus fact, but it's meant to build a little bit more engagement. But here we have a clear offer, we'll clean it for you, and then the website. So again, we're inviting people to learn more through this post. So trust and nurture, because we want them to go to the website, and then the website from there kind of does a lot of the selling. Of course, a before and after for a remodel company. So this is an office remodel. Obviously, you can see how bad it looks before they went in. Now you can see how clean and new it looks. So that's just showing proof that they can go in and they can do exactly what they claim that they can do. And then even just posting simple pictures of your remodels or of your jobs or whatever it might be, the finished product, that's still proof. This is really the step where you want to show that proof, and you can hit that really hard. And of course, hot audiences, a couple different examples for different industries, but this is really where you're talking about yourself, and you know that you've now warmed up people through the week, whatever that looks like. Maybe you warmed them up through the month, and now you can actually lead people to, hey, book online, give us a call, get a quote, whatever that might look like. But again, these are just a couple examples of some of the posts that we've made for our clients, and just to give you an idea in case you want to make them for yourself too. So here's what we recommend. We recommend, through the 5-5-5 method, making 15 posts total each month, because that's going to allow you to post 2 to 3 times a week. And for what we've seen and the results that I brought up earlier, 2 to 3 times a week is a really, really good sweet spot. If you want to stay top of mind, if you want to build that awareness, nurture, and then sell your services, you really want to aim for posting 2 to 3 times a week minimum. And some people will say that you want to post more. You can definitely post more. Again, it depends on what kind of content you're posting. But for what we found and how we've plugged this strategy into other businesses, this is really the sweet spot. Okay, step 3, consistency. So now that you've had all of your posts, I would schedule them in advance. And I want to show you exactly how to do that. This is a prompt that you can plug directly into ChatGPT. So you can screenshot this, but it's very simple. I own X business where we offer X services for target audience. Help me come up with 15 post ideas total. 5 to educate our prospects on our services and provide them value that helps them solve a problem they can be experiencing. 5 to nurture and build trust, and 5 to promote our business and actually make sales. And this prompt is really going to get you a head start in coming up with those ideas and actually figuring out what the copy will say for those posts. Then, of course, what I recommend, just because it is very easy, just go into Canva. It's free, tons of templates. I mean, it makes it really easy to get started. As you go along, you could look into getting other software, but we use Canva. We love Canva. And even though I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the templates that they have, you can still find a lot of good ones. I would just tweak it to still fit your brand and maybe not look so much like you just pasted in your copy. Do a little bit of design work there and it'll go a long way. And then, of course, Meta has, especially if you're very active on Facebook and Instagram, Meta has a really easy way to schedule in Business Manager. There are tons of YouTube videos on this. You can ask AI and it can guide you through the steps. But really, I would recommend creating all your posts in a day using that ChatGPT prompt, then going into Canva, finding a couple templates that you like, rearranging things so it fits your brand, and then scheduling everything in Meta. So that way you have peace of mind that your posts are going to go out through the entire month, even though you're stuck running your business or, behind the desk, whatever it might be. You did at the beginning of the month and you know that all your posts are going out and they're scheduled. And I can say with experience that it really does help having that peace of mind, knowing that that's going out and knowing that I don't have to think about it after that. Next, what I would recommend is using a very simple posting schedule. So you basically want to pick a day within the week where you're going to post one type of post. At least this is what we recommend, and this is what we've done for our clients. So what I would say, and you can change this however you need to, but to build trust organically, depending on how your business schedule works, you could easily post an educational post on Monday, and then you could nurture your prospects on a Wednesday and then sell on a Thursday, or you could sell on a Friday. But basically what you want to do is just pick one day where hey, Monday's educational post going up. Hey, Wednesday's nurture posts are going up. Because on the off chance that you don't schedule a post, you can literally just look at the time, look at the day, and say, hey, it's a Wednesday, so I know I need to make a nurture post. Or it's Thursday, I need to make a post that's actually promoting my business. It makes it very, very simple, again, to have that clarity, to know what to post, and to know who you're targeting. Because if I'm posting an educational post, this is meant for people who don't know about my business. If I'm posting a nurture post, this is meant to continue to warm up the people who already know about my business. It makes it very, very simple. And then you're actually using your posts through the week strategically to build trust. And when you do that week after week after week after week, that's when you really start to see results. That's how we were able to get the results for some of our clients who, after posting for a couple weeks, they generated business, which is awesome. So warm your leads up through the week and be strategic about your posting each day that you actually want to post. So we've pretty much covered everything for this strategy, so that way you can take it today. You can probably implement this into your business in just a couple of hours. We've covered the 2 core marketing principles, and I've showed you 3 easy steps of how to use them, which is the post to profit framework. Everything that we've covered, you are more than welcome to end the video here and you can take it and you can run with it. But if you now realize that you have the knowledge, but you don't have the time, and this is a core issue for most business owners that we work with, including myself, that I've experienced. The reason why we work with business owners or service businesses is because they just don't have the time to manage their social media, to make the posts. They have the knowledge, they have the skill, they have the creativity, but they don't have the time. And we know that your job is not to become a full-time content creator. It really is to run your business. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, man, I know I could do this myself, but I just don't have the time, or I just don't want to, or I would rather hire it out with somebody who has the experience, who has the know-how, who has the team. We took everything that we just showed you in this, and we actually created a very simple monthly subscription that if you wanted to work with me and my team, you can work with us month to month, use us when you need us, but you can cancel any time. So there's no long-term commitment. It's month to month. We just get you what you need, and then you can pause for as long as you want. We designed it this way because we understand that there are certain seasons or busy times for businesses that they go through, especially if you have to work around the weather or you're only active during the summer or the spring season. We want to partner with your business in a way that it makes sense, but still helps you actually get results from social media and brings your social media back to life. And so everything that we showed you, we actually do that and more. We do the 15 posts a month. We'll do the post scheduling, but we also created a client portal for all of our clients that we work with, so that way they can go in and easily review all the content that we make them. And then the post goes out automatically. We create the copy. We create the hashtags and keywords. Through our experience, we know the right words to say, we know the hashtags to use, we know the keywords to use, so that way it actually has a higher chance of getting seen. We go in and we do a profile optimization. This is actually where we do almost an audit of your current social media profiles, primarily Facebook and Instagram, and see, okay, what changes can we make that's going to actually help sell your services or build trust in your brand more than how it is, because we don't want to send anybody to a profile where they're really not getting sold or it's not representing your brand correctly. And we just want to go in and make a couple tweaks first, and then we can actually start promoting your business and making the post and scheduling everything out. But we want to do a profile optimization audit first so that we can go in and see what needs fixing. Since we're partnering with you and we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep you the go-to service provider in your area, we do a competitor analysis. And really what this is for, it's not to make your business your competitor's business. We want to see what your competitors are already doing that might be working, because we don't want to reinvent the wheel, but then we'll package it in a way to where it really is your brand and your voice, and where your customers don't feel like it's just copy paste. In addition to that, we also do monthly analytics and reporting. So every month we want to look at what posts performed the best, what didn't, what did people engage with. That's going to actually take the strategy to the next level, because then the following month, when we make the next set of posts, we'll actually be able to cut what's not working and go hard in what is working. And we'll know what that is because we actually take the time to look at the monthly analytics and reporting. And I really can't stress that point enough. Even if you don't want to work with us or you don't need to work with us, I would highly recommend putting into your calendar a day where, if you're going to be posting, you look at the analytics, because otherwise you're missing tons of data that could be guiding you to the right kinds of videos or the right kinds of posts, whatever it might be. And you're now taking what used to be random and you're being very intentional, even more intentional with this strategy. So definitely look at the analytics and the reporting. And lastly, we create lead magnets. And what these are posts with automations to where people will be able to comment, and we'll actually be able to send them maybe a link to a website, maybe a PDF, maybe something valuable, maybe even a video explaining your service, something like that, that we use within the post that's very, very low pressure, but that builds that engagement. And then you're not just capturing, let's say, a follow, but you're actually capturing a lead. So again, everything that I showed you in the video, we still do, but we just take it when we partner with a business, we take it to that next level because we really want to optimize for success. when we work with you. I think so many people have this false sense of security when they do just post, but they don't have a strategy behind it. And again, it's like going into a gym feeling like you're going to get results just from lifting weights, but you don't actually have a plan or a strategy in place. You're probably not going to see the results you want, and we always try and optimize for results. So if you're ready to use the strategy yourself, I truly wish you the best. I hope it brings you as much business as it can. But if you're still watching this and you're like, hey, I really think that I want to work with a team who knows what they're doing, who's done this before, who's done this with dozens of businesses and with ourselves, then go ahead, click the link in the description below. You can book a call with us. We're happy to talk with you and see how we can fit into your business and if we can help you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this strategy, again, blesses your business. Go ahead and book a call with us if you'd like to work with us, or maybe even just get a consultation to see if we're a fit.